Today we're diving into the intriguing world of sandstones, one of my favorite sedimentary rocks. One of our viewers, Matthew, wrote in a question about the holes in some sandstone rocks, and he wondered if they have a purpose. Hi, I'm Tracy Diane, the creator of Mini-Me Geology and the Rock Detectives Club and author at Tracy Diane Books. If you love rocks and stories as much as I do, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. So one of the first questions we're going to answer is, what exactly is a sandstone rock? So sandstone is a sedimentary rock that is made of grains of minerals, rocks, and other organic material. And typically the grain sizes are about 0.25 millimeters to 2 millimeters in size. So the majority of grains in a sandstone are the mineral quartz, but sandstones can have different textures and colors based on the actual minerals that are present when the rock forms. Three really cool examples of this are yellow sandstone that you're seeing here. It's a vibrant yellow color. Then I also have a white sandstone, and I also have one that's a banded sandstone. I'm gonna hold it really close to the camera. So as you can see, that one has bands of light colored mineral grains and bands of kind of a reddish pink mineral grain. All of these are different varieties of sandstone, and because of where it formed and what was present when the rock was actually undergoing its formation process, that is why they're different colors. The process to create a sandstone rock is a geologic process that typically takes millions of years for it to occur. Sandstones are formed in lakes, oceans, rivers, deserts, and it's typically when wind, water, or ice deposits these sand grains in a very quiet area, and over time they stack up on top of one another and form a thick layer of sand. Once all of those sand grains have piled up on top of one another, they undergo a process called lithification, which is the process that turns the individual sand grains into a solid sandstone rock. Now, the lithification process has two primary ways that it can occur that I'm going to talk about, and one is compaction, and the other is called cementation. Now, compaction occurs when a nice thick layer of that sand all builds up, and then you have a heavy weight from those top layers pressing down on the bottom layers. And what happens is that weight will push the sand grains together, and it will make the grains basically closer together. And then any sort of mineral content in the groundwater or the ocean water will precipitate out and basically glue the sand grains together, and that's the cementation process. Now, typically the minerals that precipitate out of the groundwater or the ocean water that kind of glues all those sand grains together in the cementation process is either quartz or calcite. And what will happen is when those are precipitating out, they go into the void spaces called pore spaces, and that's the open area in between the sand grains. And it may completely fill those pore spaces, or it may just kind of cling onto the edges of the sand grains and glue them together that way. So in rock samples where you have the precipitated minerals, quartz or calcite, completely filling up those void spaces, you're going to have a sandstone that is solid and it has no holes in it, no open space. But on the ones where it doesn't completely fill up those pore spaces, that's when you have a sandstone rock that does have open space or holes inside the sandstone rock. And sometimes those pore spaces can be connected, sometimes they may be cut off. It's not always uniform. You may have one area of the rock that has some open pore spaces, and you may have another area of the rock where it's completely filled and it's all completely solid. Now, sometimes you'll hear the geologists use the word porosity, and what that is it's a measure of the amount of open space inside the rock. So the higher the porosity value, the more open space that you have inside that rock. So part of Matthew's question was about the purpose of the holes inside the sandstone rock. And these are actually great places to store some of our natural resources like groundwater, oil, and natural gas. So just remember that not all sandstones are the same. Whether they have holes or not and can store some of our natural resources depends completely how it was formed and where. So there you have it, Matthew. We have unraveled the mystery of why some sandstones have holes while others don't. If you have a question for me about rocks, minerals, or anything geology related, please reach out to me through our website, minimegeology.com. You can also email me directly at tracy@tracydianebooks.com. All those are tagged up in the description below, and I look forward to answering your questions soon.